The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. Bet $50 at WynnBET and get $200 in free bets. Bet big, win bigger with WynnBET. Download the WynnBET app now or visit wynnbet.com and start winning today. We're also brought to you by Sleeper. You already play fantasy on Sleeper, but now you can win cold hard cash with their over or under game. Just head to sleeper.com/SGP on your phone to join the SGPN group, and Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit with $100. That's sleeper.com/SGP. Make sure to check out our new Discord server, the perfect place to interact and sweat bets with the entire SGPN crew. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Welcome along, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Today is Thursday, July the 14th, and we are here to handicap a full slate of MLB action for Friday, July 15. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast corner of England. And joining us tonight, we've got a little two-man show. It is the MLB voyeur himself. I'm going to try and get that nickname to stick. It's Noah Bennett. Noah, how are you doing?
How are we doing, Malcolm? 150th episode. It's an honor to be
I forgot about that. I've buried the headline. Sorry. Yes, the 150th episode. If you can't see us on the stream, we're full party dresses, cocktail dresses, there's streamers, balloons. We've got a huge array of guests from stage and screen going to join us in the next hour or so, all to celebrate the 150th episode. So that's all very, very exciting. I'll tell you what wasn't exciting. I have wasted what seems like 19 hours of my life watching the Pittsburgh Pirates at the Miami Marlins tonight. Christ on a bike. It was absolutely painful. It was like both teams were trying to lose. I just nearly threw my head out the living room window. It was absolutely horrible. Did you see any of it? Because if you didn't, you got lucky.
I'm lying if I said I did, but I mean that game just is not very appealing to me when you tell me Pirates and Marlins, because I know how bad the Pirates have been, and to me the Marlins just seem like one of those teams that have kind of booked their vacation for the All-Star break already. Because you look at this roster, the lineup, you have guys that are injured right now in Jorge Soler, Jazz Chisholm, Garrett Cooper, and you mentioned there's a couple of injuries in that game as well.
There was at least three. I can't remember who the third one was. John Bertie went out stealing a bag in the first inning. The second baseman or shortstop, I think it was Rojas, then went out. Big O'Neill Cruz came hurtling in to steal a base. And as he stood up, he got to the bag, and then he popped up. And as he popped up, his helmet hit Rojas full in the teeth, and all his teeth immediately fell out. So that was the end of him. Oh, I'll tell you who the third one was. This is not such a big miss. It was Billy Hamilton, who ran so fast into home base that he skidded all the skin off his face. So, yeah, it was a series of cartoon injuries for Miami. And, yeah, they ended up, Aguilar was over at third. Who was at first? The little ginger bloke, Cooper, maybe. Joey Wendell. Everyone was playing out of position anyway. It was a right mess. And in the warm-up before the game, Jesus Sanchez got pulled just as the game was starting, because I played him in DFS. He was named in the starting lineup. I played him in DFS, and then he never appeared. So the catcher, Nick Cortez, the substitute catcher, I think had a DH. So yeah, if you take your bat down there tomorrow, mate, you might get a game. It's an absolute mess. There seems to be a bit of a
we can talk about the locked dog. Oh, my bad. The Wi-Fi again for me is just off.
No, you're all right, mate. Carry on.
Pause you. Oh, we could talk about yesterday's locked dog, because I took JT Brubaker's strikeouts against this Marlins lineup, and it's just pitiful right now. He put up 9. The line was 4.5.
Yeah, Zach Thompson went quite deep into the game. Braxton Garrett struck out 12 batters, I think, for Miami in that game as well. But yeah, this sort of dovetails nicely into some of the things we need to talk about tonight, because it's an ugly looking slate in terms of us being able to handicap the slate and give out odds. I think there's 15 games, but I think there's maybe 6 or 7 with no lines due to either no confirmed starting pitchers or for any other reason. And I think that's got a lot to do with the upcoming break. There just seem to be a lot of little niggling injuries around, but also, like you say, the teams are playing silly buggers with their lineups and their pitches, which is what people do every every season. So any games tonight that we can't give lines or picks on, then we'll skirt over, but we will endeavour to find some winners somewhere, because there are definitely some to be found. Just before we get into the games, your 7-pitcher fantasy roster, is that tonight or was that last night?
That was last night.
I did notice your ERA was massive this morning, so did that not go very well?
The teams actually, the players, they gave up quite a few runs, but the strikeouts were there. So
yes, that's what I noticed. Yeah.
We have that category down, but Gonsolin got rocked for the first time all year. He gave up 4 in 4 innings in the first 4 there, and then somebody else got rocked really bad. Oh, it was Morton. Morton got hit hard.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
The first game of the day, so.
I noticed one of the big fantasy players on Twitter early on was flexing, screenshotting that they'd left Gonsolin on the bench. But I think that was just one of those things. There's no way if he'd gone 7 scoreless that he would be screenshotting that he'd left him on the bench. That was just a bit of a smart ass move after time. So
honestly, I can't really take credit for Gonsolin. I didn't draft him. I picked him up in a trade. Somebody traded me heads up Gonsolin for Mackenzie Gore. So I took that and ran with it, and Gonsolin's been great. So it's off the top of my head, I'm not gonna not start Gonsolin for that one chance that he might not have a good outing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Right, okay, let's see what we can find for this Friday evening slate of games. The first game, there's one afternoon game actually, which is a 2:20 Eastern first pitch between the New York Mets and the Chicago Cubs. Taijuan Walker gets the start for the Mets, and Marcus Stroman, a former Met, is on the hill for the Cubs. I've got money lines, but no totals. The Mets here are minus 130. Sorry?
That's a common theme for tonight.
Yeah, we've got bits missing. It's a bit of a jigsaw puzzle tonight, folks. The Mets are minus 133. Chicago Cubs are plus 115. Taijuan Walker is 7-2, has a 2.63 ERA, has pitched 85 2/3 with 68 strikeouts. Stroman is 2-5 with a 4.91 ERA. Has pitched 51 1/3 with 48 strikeouts. Walker's going along really nicely. He's actually just changed his agency this week. He's a free agent next year, and he's having one of those years that's a dream for a free agent. So he'll be looking to make a few quid if he can get a move or extend with the Mets. He's 3-0 in his last 5 starts with a 1.91 ERA. So ticks in the boxes there. He's 5-2 on the road as well. He's been going deep into games as well. He's been really reliable. Stroman, you look at his initial figures, that 4.91 ERA, but he gave up 9 runs against St. Louis, then went on the IL about a month ago. But before and after that, he's kind of been okay. He's had 1 start back since the IL stint, and he went 4 innings against the Dodgers without giving up any runs. So I think you can kind of trust Stroman to not get blown out the water here. I just think, however, the Cubs lineup is struggling. The Mets have been really quite professional, which is not something you can often accuse the Mets of being. They've been getting the job done, and this we talked last night about the Braves series. They've had a good week, and I think minus 133 for effectively a considerably better side than the Cubs to win looks like a really fair price to me. Noah, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I like Walker the way he's been going right now, and the Cubs, I just think they're really hard to back. They're 0-6 in the last 6 games. They're probably one of the worst home teams this season. I don't have the stats in front of me. They're 17-29 on the season at home. I don't know where that ranks in the MLB, but I assume it's not very good. And then you look at the Mets, the one knock on them earlier in the season was that they had trouble playing on the road, but in their last 9 games on the road, they're 6-3. So I think with Walker going, Stroman, like you said, he could pitch well today, and I don't really see him getting blown up either, but I don't see the Mets losing per se.
Okay, so that means they're going to win, Noah. So we'll double down on the Mets at minus 133. Next is a 6:40 Eastern. First pitch is the Philadelphia Phillies at the Miami Marlins. Kyle Gibson draws the start for the Phillies, and Sandy Alcantara gets the start for Miami. Alcantara, I believe, now who got hit a little bit last night. Was it maybe Anderson, actually? With the runs that Anderson gave up, Alcantara now has the best ERA in the major leagues with
It was
qualified pitch.
Gonsolin.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah, Gonsolin, not Anderson. So, yeah, Alcantara's hit the front in that race. My Cy Young contender at a nice price. But, yeah, Noeth will take us through Philly at Miami.
Yeah, so Philly, they're 9 games back in the NL East. Miami, 12. Marlins unders are 5-2 in their last 7 games at home. That's really the only trend that was good in this game. Not many in this matchup here. Or like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, and we mentioned there's a ton of injuries on this Marlins squad. I'm not going to rename the names, but I think that their All-Star break has started a little bit early, and the way that they've kind of played against the Pirates shows that, and even in their wins, it was the Pirates. So, Sandy Alcantara, he's been great all year on the bump. The dude should be nicknamed Automatic Alcantara because he's pitched at least 7 innings in his last 12 starts. Sandy has 2 consecutive starts with 0 runs against him in those 15 total innings. On the season, he's 9-3 with a 1.73 ERA, 111 strikeouts, 31 walks, and 130.1 innings pitched. For Kyle Gibson, he's 4-3 with a 4.53 ERA, 75 strikeouts, 25 walks, and 91.1 innings. He's coming off of his best outing of the year. He went 7 scoreless against St. Louis with only 2 hits. I like his momentum and good form from Gibson, and honestly, I just really dislike this Marlins lineup right now even more than his momentum that I like. So I like the under in this game, and I just cannot jump on Miami's price right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure I gave the odds out at the top of that one. The Phillies plus 130, Miami minus 153, total set at 7. I think the Phillies are a great price. Probably because I watched that Miami game, which finished half an hour ago, that I've put them immediately on the naughty step. But they were already weakened. They've been further weakened tonight. I don't think this price will hold, by the way. No. If you get a chance to get on early, Philly plus 130 before more news of these injuries filters through. The only reason the prices are like they are because of Alcantara. But even then, Miami can't score a run. Alcantara's going to have to go entirely complete game shutout to give Miami a chance. So the Phillies have been tinkering with their lineup a little bit. Bryson Stott's getting hot. That rhymes and is also true. So I've been enjoying him. So yeah, I think Phillies are a great price tomorrow. I just can't take Miami. Knowing what I know and having seen what I see tonight, I think Philly at plus 130 are an excellent price. 7:05 first pitch between the Atlanta Braves and the Washington Nationals. Ian Anderson goes for Atlanta. The Washington Nationals pitcher is officially TBD. I reckon it's Patrick Corbin. I don't know if you hear anything different. I've got no lines on this one at all with the absence of a pitcher. Anderson, I had him in the sea a couple of weeks ago, but he can get back out the sea. He's done all right his last couple of starts. He's 7-5 with a 4.98 ERA. Has pitched 86 2/3 with 74 strikeouts. Corbin is 4-11 with a 5.70 ERA, 94 2/3 pitched, 83 strikeouts. Anderson, yeah, he's had 2 decent home starts after having a couple of shockers on the road. He is back on the road here, though, so really it's a bit of a head scratcher. I don't know what you're going to get. He's 4.72 road ERA, 6.48 ERA against NL East rivals. Corbin, he got in trouble last time against Atlanta, pitched 6 innings, gave up 4 earned runs. I thought this could be an over, but obviously we haven't got a number, so I can't tell you what it might be over. And apart from that, not an awful lot to add, unfortunately. Any thoughts on this Atlanta-Washington game, Noah?
Yeah, I'm feeling you on the over. The trends, though, they go the other way with Atlanta's last 10 or 12 games. 10 of them went under, and Washington's last 7, 5 of them went under. I still like the over with you there, though. And Atlanta, they're 6-0 straight up against Washington in the last 6 games. The run line has hit in 5 of them. I just like Atlanta right now. I don't think you can fade this lineup going up against a left-handed pitcher.
No, you're right. Atlanta tick all the boxes. They're 5-0 straight up in the last 5, 5-0 straight up on the road against Washington in the last 5. It's just all Atlanta. So yeah, it's not very exciting. Hopefully there'll be better games for us to handicap than that one. Next is a 7:05 Eastern first pitch between the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees. This was a fun series last week. Again, officially 2 TBD pitchers. Nick Pivetta for the Boston Red Sox and Jordan Montgomery for the New York Yankees are the 2 men I've got going. No lines at all. Again, Noah, can you see anything different? And tell us a little bit about it.
No, I don't see anything different. And like you said, Jordan Montgomery is probable, and Nick Pivetta, he threw on Sunday against the Yankees. He's probable as well. Pivetta, not a very great outing on Sunday in that lightning fest. It was like 11-6 final score on Sunday. Montgomery, though, he only gave up 2 runs in, I think, 5 innings against Boston. The way this series played out last weekend, I would be taking more overs. I'll be looking at those prices. But honestly, like, the rivalry is cool and all. I just feel like the way that they scheduled these things with the whole the lockout thing going on, and also they're scared of the COVID at the beginning of the season when they were making these schedules. So like a lot of the patterns throughout the whole year were you play this team at home, you play like one other team, and then you go back to that other team on the road the next week. We've seen a ton of those instances. And I just feel like when you have all 3 of these games on national television, it kind of gets old. I prefer Boston and the Yankees to play each other, once every month, maybe twice every month when you can make it happen. 6 national primetime games in 12 days is a little too much for my liking.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I find it hard, even if we're handicapping like a 4-game series, if I'm there for the 4th night, because we've kind of repeated ourselves in terms of the bats or the stats or the home record, whatever's going on. We can look at the different pitchers, starting pitchers. Well, that's pretty much it. And we're a day behind almost. We're handicapping here on Wednesday night for Friday. So yeah, even getting to the end of a 4-game series struggles. So yeah, when they're going back to back, you do find it's harder, and it seems a little bit less entertaining to handicap the same teams regularly.
It is, and it comes into play too when Thursday and Friday's game weren't on like Fox's game of the day and ESPN's game of the day. The Yankees won it pretty easily, but the Red Sox show up when the lights are the brightest in this rivalry. You look at the playoffs last year, and then you look at the primetime games on Saturday and Sunday night, and they won. So it's just really tough with this series for me to like get all ready and excited about it again when we've already kind of seen these matchups literally last weekend.
Yeah, from a picks point of view for this Pivetta and Montgomery, I need a little break from Pivetta. I was turned on to him probably about a month ago, and he did okay for me, but I need to see something again from him. So I won't be following Pivetta like I have been. Overs again was what I thought. Yeah. The same as yourself, Noah. But without a line, we can't give you any concrete info further than that. We'll move on to a 7:07 Eastern first pitch between the Kansas City Royals and the Toronto Blue Jays. These pitches have just gone up, or certainly the Toronto one has, in the last hour or so. It is Zach Greinke for the Kansas City Royals, and it's Alek Manoah for the Toronto Blue Jays. I have, again, absolutely no lines for this one at all. I can take you through the pitching matchup. Greinke is 3-5, 4.52 ERA. Has pitched 73 2/3 with 39 strikeouts. Manoah is 9-4, 2.34 ERA. 107 2/3 pitched, 97 strikeouts. Zach Greinke has been a little bit better in his last 5. He's 3-2 with a 4.50 ERA. He's got a 7.46 ERA on the road, and he's really inconsistent. That's the thing. His last 5 starts here have gone 0-6-1-1-5 in terms of earned runs. So you've got 3 great starts and 2 shockers. I mean, what you're going to get, it's hard to say. Manoah's 5-1 at home with a 2.21 ERA. Faced Kansas City already once this year, went 6 scoreless in that one. I think it can only be the Toronto run line when this comes out. This is one of the boring ones. KC, 4 of the last 5 have gone over on the road. So maybe an over as well. If we might get some runs, and maybe Kansas can chip in with 2 or 3 of their own. But yeah, an over and a Toronto run line play for me, Noah.
Honestly, I don't think this one's a boring one to handicap. I actually think this one's kind of fun, and this is almost gambling 101. You look at the way that Toronto has been playing lately, and it's not been good. And then you look at what's happened with the Royals roster, and they have 10 guys that are not vaccinated, didn't even make the trip into Canada. What that tells me is you have a bunch of these AAA kids from Omaha for Kansas City going up to Toronto, and they're playing in a tryout. They have a 3-game tryout to make their name, to try to make it onto this roster that, let's face it, Perez out, Whit Merrifield out. They're kind of banged up as well. There's opportunities here for these kids, if not on the Royals roster, then maybe on this trade deadline coming up. They might make their name a little bit more interesting for some of these other teams. So I think that a lot of hungry kids on this Royals roster going up against a slumping Blue Jays team. They may be coming out of it though with the whole Montoya firing, but honestly, I like the idea of just putting a, like you called it, a pizza bet on the Royals in every game in the series. Just they come out with one, you make a profit of it. So I mean, game 1 they were put out at plus 300. I cannot lay minus 330 on Toronto right now. It's just a moral thing.
No, you're right. I just think it's a horrible spot for Kansas. I'm not sure even how hard they're going to try, because Toronto are going to have this new manager bounce as well. They got a good win last night, and I just think they'll want to use this to build up a little bit of momentum. It's an ideal opportunity for Toronto. So I think they could.
You think they could? No, my bad. Again, the Wi-Fi kind of skipped and I didn't hear anything from you. It's not really running smoothly, but at the beginning of the podcast, Johnny, he said, "Hi, Malcolm." So one of our favorite listeners and over there in the Blue Wire. But I will say it's just like a quarter of a unit, half a unit on the Royals. It's all I'll go, because again, the Royals, like you mentioned, they're not in a very good spot right now, but I just think it's a ton of hungry kids going up against the Blue Jays here.
Johnny was at the game last night, but I think he's old school friends with Bryson Stott, or college friends with Bryson Stott. So 1 second he was cheering like hell when the Toronto Blue Jays were winning, but then he was getting up and cheering like hell when Bryson Stott hit a home run. So all the fans around him, he just looked like the village idiot. He was just cheering anything if they seemed. But there was some method in his madness. So Johnny was having fun. Johnny always has fun. 7:10 Eastern first pitch is the Detroit Tigers at the Cleveland Guardians. Drew Hutchison draws the start for Detroit. Luckily, you get to tell me about him. Noah. Zach Plesac is on the hill for Cleveland. Just had these lines come through. Detroit are plus 159, Cleveland minus 188. Totally set at 8. Drew Hutchison for your Detroit Tigers. What do we know about him, Noah?
He's not a guy that I particularly like. He's kind of been up and down from the minors to the majors, and then recently we've ran out of options on him, so we've DFA'd him 2 or 3 times this year already. So it's just been a cycle of he pitches one game when we need him to, and then we DFA him. Nobody picks him up off of waivers, and then we pick him back up again, send him to AAA, and when we need him again, because this whole starting rotation has been banged up the whole year, we lead the league in the amount of starting pitchers used. We bring Hutchinson back up, we use him in the spot, and then we DFA him. It's a huge cycle. But right now he's making his second start in a row. His last start was pretty good against the Royals. Both of these squads, Detroit and Cleveland, they're squads that I like to take unders on. Detroit, they've hit theirs in 4 of their last 6. Cleveland, 4 of their last 5. The Tigers recently just swept the Guardians in a 4-game series at home, but Cleveland is 14-6 against Detroit in their last 20 games. Hutchinson, like I've mentioned, he's 1-4 with a 4.08 ERA, 22 strikeouts, 17 walks, and 35.1 innings pitched. Hutch, he kind of has a little bit of a control problem. The last outing, he didn't give up a walk, but this is a guy that the walks have been his main kryptonite going for him this year. The Guardians, they're a very patient team at the plate, so I don't really like this matchup for him. As for Zach Plesac, for Cleveland, he's 2-7 with a 3.99 ERA, 65 strikeouts, 23 walks. in 90.1 innings pitched. He won his last outing against the Tigers. He has a 290 home ERA. I'm just going to take the Guardians in this game. Malcolm, how do you feel?
It was tricky because everything you looked at, apart from the trends, makes you want to take Cleveland, but then the trends all point to Detroit. Like you say, they're 5-0 straight up in the last 5 games. They're also 5-0 against the spread in those 5 games as well. The Cleveland are under machines, though. 5 of the last 6 at home have been under. So that's the side I'm going to take. I can't quite trust Detroit. Again, their lineup seems to be just a little bit weakened at the moment as well. So I'll take the under. I had it written down at 7.5. I'm now seeing it at 8, so I've got an extra half a run to muck about with there. So I'll take the under here, and hopefully this can stay low scoring, I think. The place to find all our lines is at the Win, the title sponsor here on the MLB Gambling Podcast, where you can still use the $50 to win $200 promotion, where a $50 bet will qualify you for up to $200 in free bets. If you're betting baseball as well, WinBet have reduced the juice in MLB games, which makes it the best place to bet our sport here. The fantasy football comp is still running. If you bet $500 or more on Sports or Casino before July the 31st, you'll be entered to win the ultimate fantasy football draft experience at Encore Beach Club, which includes a 2-night stay at Wynn Resorts for you and your entire league. Loads to choose from. Download the WinBet app or visit wynnbet.com to get started. Offer subject to change. T's and C's at winbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WinBet is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. I'll also tell you about Sleeper before we move on. The fantasy football app that I assume you use. I know I do. But they've added the over or under game, which is loads of fun to play. You need to choose your players in whatever sport you want. Choose the props and then enter your own stake. And you can win anywhere from 2 to 20 times that stake if you're right. The chat feature on there is really good fun. You can copy your friends' picks. You can tail a hot hand there if you've got someone going. So download the Sleeper app to play the over or under game. And if you use the code sleeper.com, the code is SGPMLB. You'll get a match deposit up to $100. That is sleeper.com/SGPMLB for that 100% match deposit bonus up to $100. T's and C's apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. 7:10 Eastern first pitch is the Baltimore Orioles and the Tampa Bay Rays. Another ugly one, unfortunately. 2 TBD pitchers. We fetched out Tyler Wells for Baltimore and Shane Baz for the Tampa Bay Rays. No lines at all for this one. I'll give you the pitching stats and maybe a lean, but that'll be it for this one. Tyler Wells is 7-4, 3.28 ERA, 79 2/3 with 53 strikeouts, and Shane Baz is 1-2, has an ERA of an even 5. He's pitched 27 innings with 30 strikeouts. Wells is 4-0 in his last 5 with a 2.08 ERA. Really good stuff from him. 364 on the road, which plays as well. He faced Tampa Bay twice already this year. Gave up 7 earned runs in 6 innings pitched. So it all depends if you think that Baltimore and Wells are now a different proposition than they were when Wells faced Tampa in those 2 short starts. And I think they are. I think you can trust both a hell of a lot more than we could back then. Shane Baz has had 6 starts now this season. And he's been really good. His ERA is inflated because of his last start against the Reds, where he gave up 7 earned runs. That pretty much accounts for all of his ERA. I think both could go well here. Neither lineup is particularly potent, so either an under or a first 5 under. I think both pitchers could start well here. Maybe the bullpen's not as trustworthy. So I'll be looking at an under or a first 5 under when we see some lines on this one, Noah.
Yeah, for me, I think this whole Baltimore thing, it's been fun, but I think it's ran its course. They've won 10 straight games, but 9 of them against poor competition, and the Rangers, the Angels, and the Cubs. Now they go over to the Rays, who are pretty hot in their own right. They're 8-4 in their last 12, and they're 6-2 in their last 8 at home, not counting the Boston game on Thursday night. But I feel like this is a Rays team that is definitely going to end this win streak, and I think they could do it with Shane Baz on the mound in Game 1.
Okay, so it's the Tampa Bay Rays. For Noah, an 8:05 Eastern first pitch is the Seattle Mariners against the Texas Rangers. Robbie Ray, the lefty, is on the hill for Seattle Mariners. Texas is officially TBD. I've got Dane Dunning going. Again, no lines as a result of that one. Noah, do you have anything for this Seattle at Texas game?
Yeah, like you said, Robbie Ray is the one that's confirmed right now. Dane Dunning, probable. The Mariners themselves, they're on a 10-game win streak, and they're playing Texas. I mean, this is not a very good team. Corey Seager is heating up, though. He's had like 5 home runs in the last 7 games or something like that. Texas, they're 4-6 in their last 10. 2 of those wins were against Oakland. So, honestly, I'm still tailing Seattle here. Seattle, they've hit their over in 5 of the last 7 games. 5 of the last 6 Texas games have hit the over, and 6 of the last 7 games inside Globe Life have hit the over as well. So it's Mariners and probably an over for me.
100% agree with you. Exactly what I've got written down here. I don't think the Seattle money line will be particularly fancy. It might be backable, might be a unit and a half play. Seattle are...
I mean, they opened as a dog Game 1 against the Rangers.
Yeah, that was... No, I remember that. That seems like weeks ago. I think it was Tuesday.
Yesterday.
What day is it today? Thursday. Wednesday, okay. Seattle are 10-1 in their last 11 road games. So there's a nice little clue for you. And the 2 trends that you just pointed out with Texas going over as well. So, yeah, Seattle to win and over. If you want to go crazy and stick him in a parlay, why not? 8:10 Eastern first pitch is the Oakland Athletics against the Houston Astros. Left-handed pitcher Cole Irvin starts for Oakland. Houston, guess what? Officially TBD. I have Jose Urquidy going for the Houston Astros. No lines again, unfortunately, people. Cole Irvin is 3-7 with a 3.32 ERA. Has pitched 89 1/3 with 58 punches. Urquidy is 8-3 with a 4.08 ERA. 88 1/3 with 65 strikeouts. Irvin going along all right. 3.31 ERA in his last 5 starts. He took on Houston last time out. Gave up 2 earned runs in 6 innings pitched. So fairly steady stuff from Cole Irvin. He's not been as good on the road. But that does include 1 blow-up start against the Yankees, which you can kind of forgive him. Urquidy going along really nicely as well. 3-0 with a 2.45 ERA in his last 5 starts. He took on Oakland last time out as well in the same series, gave up 3 earned runs over 8 innings pitched in this one. I thought this could be a slow burner. Yeah, we know Oakland don't do an awful lot with the bat. In the first 5 under, with Cole Irvin holding his own, seemed a prudent way to bet this for me.
Yeah, this year, Houston, they're 5-1 against Oakland. And those 5 wins, the run line hit in 4 of them. So sorry for my dog going nuts in the background. Just not a very professional pod from me so far. But and this is also another one of those games where it's like, why do you guys record a day before? Well, it helps us get up there in the rankings and listens, and allows you guys to get out some early numbers and just some sharp angles and stuff like that. So again, Astros run line is probably going to be the play for me.
What's the dog called, Noah?
So he's a Dalmatian, so his name's Oreo.
Okay, fair enough. I hate dogs, just so you know, for the people. I am absolutely... I don't trust them. I'm terrified of all dogs. I know, terrified. When that dog started barking then, I wasn't sure if that was coming from you or I was about to be attacked by something in my own house. I'm that scared. I mean, I really, really don't like it.
The way that Dalmatians are, they're protective. So it's like home property. He's going to bark at the mailman. That's basically how it is. So I don't know who it was at the door, but yeah, that was the dog.
Yeah, I think all dogs are going to have my arm off, is what I believe. Next up is 8:10 Eastern first pitch between the Chicago White Sox and the Minnesota Twins. Michael Kopech draws the start for the Chicago White Sox. And it's one of my guys, Devin Smeltzer, for the Minnesota Twins. The White Sox are plus 115 Minnesota are minus 135. Total here is set at 8.5. And this one we'll throw across to you, Noah.
Yeah, it's your guy versus my guy, Michael Kopech against Devin Smeltzer. Besides the repeatable trends that I say almost every podcast over the last week is like, what the fuck are the White Sox doing right now? And the books they're trying to fix the Minnesota unders right now. So it's like the new one though, Chicago, they're 1-7 in the last 8 at Target Field. So
yeah,
my guy Michael Kopech, he's 2-6 with a 3.35 ERA, 72 strikeouts, 38 walks, and 78 innings pitched. And it's still like, when will they play well for this guy? Like, he has good outing after good outing after good outing, and it's like they don't put up runs for him. He's 2-6. So it's like, just continue to fade this embarrassment of a team that, you know, I backed to win the AL Central pretty easily and took them all the way to the World Series in the preseason. It's complete opposite from me right now in the confidence of this team. And Devin Smeltzer, he's 4-2 with a 3.92 ERA, 36 strikeouts, 15 walks, and 59.2 innings pitched. He has a home ERA of 2.10, so he's going very well at Target Field. The White Sox are not going very well at Target Field. So, Malcolm, are you on Minnesota with me?
Yeah, my lean is Minnesota. My pick is going to be the under, but the trends are very much in Minnesota's favor. 5-0 against the spread. Against the White Sox last time, 5-0 straight up at home against the White Sox. But it's the unders I like, mainly because I like both pitchers. You've talked me through Kopech a few times, and I trust your judgment there. And I like Smeltzer as well. I like what he's been doing. I saw this at 9 earlier on. It's moved to 8.5. Chicago White Sox have gone under 5 of their last 6 games as well. And yeah, I've watched the Twins. That Brewers series quite a lot. They're just they're winning close but low scoring games. You're getting 4-1s and 4-2s. So if there's a 9 around, find it. If not, take an 8.5. I'm perfectly happy with that. But it's going to be an under for me on that one.
Yeah, I mean, they are an under lineup. It's just that the books are trying to fix that trend in the numbers. So that's my only like reason to be hesitant on the under. But I like both of these pitchers in that matchup.
Yeah, the consig turned us onto the Twins unders ages and ages ago, and we trust his judgment even more than our own. 8:15 Eastern first pitch is the Cincinnati Reds at the St. Louis Cardinals. Hunter Green, is he my guy? Is he not my guy? It's hard to say. Goes for the Reds, and Andre Palante is the man for the St. Louis Cardinals, who are a minus 172 favorite. Cincinnati plus 145. Totally set at 9. Hunter Green is 3-10 with a 5.70 ERA, pitched 85 1/3 with 107 strikeouts. Palante 2-4, 3.18 ERA, has pitched 65 innings with 42 strikeouts. Green's on the downturn again, bit of a roller coaster following Hunter Green, but he's on the downslope at the moment. A 7.11 ERA in his last 5. He's got a 5.61 road ERA as well. Just struggling to trust him at the moment. Still like him. But I'll keep him on the naughty step until I see a little bit more from him. Palante's also regressing. Came in and he's pitched 65 innings now, and the longer he goes, he is regressing back to what he thought he might be. He's got a 5.46 ERA in his last 5. Although, to be honest, he gave up 7 earned runs against Atlanta, and that's hurt those figures, so maybe not as bad. The Reds have been fun this week. They've had a bit of a mad trip to the New York Yankees. The card series against the Dodgers has seen a lot of runs as well. I think there was back-to-back 7-6 games in there. So for me, I'm going to take the over. This one's already moved. Again, I saw this at 8.5. It's now moved to 9, so I've lost half a run on that one. But yeah, plus 100. I'm going to take the over in this one, Noah.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed this Yankees series so far. I've called it the World Series on Twitter a couple of times now. Look at the first game. The Reds were down 3-0. They came back and won 4-3 via what was it? A couple of walks and a single, and then game-winning single. And then you look at last night, and they lose on 2 straight pass balls. So, I mean, this series has been really interesting and entertaining against the Yankees. And you look at the Cardinals, and they've also come off of a really good game or series against the Dodgers. And it's like two very, very mainstream series, I guess, for both teams. Cincinnati, they're not getting this much attention normally. And St. Louis, they had a huge point to prove against the Dodgers. So I actually kind of lean towards the under in this game, that both lineups might just be on a little bit of an off day, especially with Cincinnati traveling from New York to St. Louis. Cincinnati, they're 5-1 their last 6 games, but the under is hitting 5 of their last 7. And for the Cardinals, the under is hitting 9 of their last 11 games. And of course, that excludes last night's 7-6 Dodgers, or the Cardinals hit the over by themselves last night that I took the under on Gonsolin and Wainwright. So I kind of like an under again. It just kind of seems like it's against the public with both Green and Palante on the mound. And I always am going to, when I have that thought, I'm just going to jump on that line.
Okay, nice one. So, yeah, opposite sides for that game. 8:40 Eastern first pitch. The Pittsburgh Pirates against the Colorado Rockies, and Jose Quintana will go for the Pirates. German Marquez is on the mound for the Rockies. Pittsburgh are plus 130. Colorado are minus 153. Totally a set at 11. Bum fight, Noah. What have you got?
Yeah, bum fight. It's that's a good term for this one. Pittsburgh, they're 6-2 in their last 8, and they're traveling from Miami to Denver. And I think you have to fade road teams in game 1 most of the time when they play in Coors Field. And this one just screams to me that we're taking the Rockies. Colorado, they're 5-1 in their last 6 home games, and the under is hitting 6 of their last 9. For Pittsburgh, Jose Quintana, he's getting the start today. He's 2-4 with a 3.59 ERA, 78 strikeouts, 27 walks in 85.1 innings pitched. He's coming off of a rough start, and he's worse on the road with a 4.57 ERA than he is at home. Not to mention, he's a left-handed pitcher going up against the Rockies, who are second in the league in OPS with a 7.92 against left-handed pitching. For Colorado, German Marquez, who's 5-7 with a 5.66 ERA, 81 strikeouts, 37 walks in 97 innings pitched. Marquez isn't great, so if you like the over more, go ahead and take it. But I really like Colorado on the money line here, depending on what the price opens up at and what Malcolm has them. But, I mean, the over, I wouldn't argue it even at like 10.5, because both these bullpens are rough, and I could see both of these guys blowing up early in the game.
I didn't hear a word of that. There's a Shakira video just came on the telly, Noah. So you took a back burner there, unfortunately. I'll crack up with my handicap though. I've got the opposite. I've got under written down here because I've just watched the Pittsburgh Pirates and they're never ever going to score another run. So Colorado have to score them all themselves. And Quintana's on the mound.
I think they can.
No, but Quintana's been going all right. Quintana has very much earned my trust, I think, recently. We probably spent about 6 weeks waiting for him to get blown up. And he just didn't. And then the more you watch him, he's been going along really, really well. So I'm happy to give him the credit where it's due there. So, Pittsburgh won't score any runs and Colorado can't score 11. So it's an under for me at minus 120. 3 games left to handicap.
I can tell.
Well,
my Wi-Fi is awful. Go ahead. I don't even know where you were at. I don't know if you moved on to another game or what.
Just still looking at Shakira. I mean, but yeah, do you know where Shakira's from?
Well, that was what I was going to say. Is you didn't even listen to my cap because I said that Quintana, he has a rough road ERA and he's coming off of a bad start. So
not bad.
That's what I said.
Right. Here's something, Noah. What country is Shakira from?
Colombia.
What is Colombia's biggest export apart from Class A drugs?
Soccer. I don't know.
Coffee. Do you know who's experts in coffee, Noah? Trade Coffee, that's who. I bet Shakira's on the payroll. Trade Coffee will send you freshly roasted beans from Colombia if you want them, where 60 of the country's best craft roasters, small businesses who pay farmers fair prices, will sort you out. If you fill in the the online questionnaire. Answer a couple of questions. You'll get your own personalised variety of coffee delivered fresh to you as often as you like, whether you're a coffee snob or you just know what you like. They will taste test over 450 roasts, so they know exactly what to recommend for you. Trade will deliver a bag of freshly roasted coffee as whole beans or ground for however you take it. Trade have delivered over 5 million bags of fresh coffee, more than 750,000 positive reviews, and Shakira drives the van that drops the coffee off at your house as well, which is a nice touch. Trade are offering new subscribers a total of $30 off the first order plus free shipping when you go to drinktrade.com/SGP. Get started by taking their quiz at drinktrade.com/SGP and let Trade find you a coffee you love. That's drinktrade.com/SGP for $30 off. We have 3 games left, as I previously mentioned. The first of which is the 9:38 first pitch between the LA Dodgers and the LA Angels. It's El Trafico, this one. Clayton Kershaw, the lefty, goes for the LA Dodgers. And Patrick Sandoval, another lefty, goes for the LA Angels. Kershaw was, just as we were going live here about 45 minutes ago, Kershaw was confirmed as the pitcher. So there are no lines up yet on this one. But I can take you through the pitches. Kershaw 6-2, 2.40 ERA, has pitched 63 2/3 with 69 strikeouts. Patrick Sandoval is 3-4 with a 2.95 ERA, and I haven't written down his innings and strikeouts, so I can't tell you those. Kershaw's stats are great. He's got a 6 earned run start in Colorado in that little sample size as well, and his ERA is still down at 2.40, so that tells you how well he's been going. Sandoval 3.18 in his last 5. Similar to Kershaw, he's got one bad start actually, which blowed his numbers a little bit. So again, the unders were drawing me in a little bit. The Angels eventually managed to score a few runs last night, but again, it's people like Joe Adele who came up last night and was putting bat to ball, but I just don't trust him to be able to do it longer term. I think Trout's sitting for another few nights as well. He's day to day, but
spasms, so I think he's kind of resting, trying to start for that All-Star game. We'll see.
Yeah, which is crazy as a coconut.
Kershaw starting this game, he's probably out. That would put him only on 4 days rest for the game.
So yeah, I trusted both pitchers here, and it's say slightly weakened lineups or just a poor lineup for the Angels. So I did prefer the first 5 under to a full game under though, just for these 2 pitchers who have been going okay. So that will be my play. Did you have anything on this one?
No, I don't actually have too much on this one. I think that Kershaw's probably, if you're looking for strikeout props, he's probably the number 1 play on the board today.
Okay, nice one. Next up, penultimate game, 9:40 Eastern. First pitch, the Arizona Diamondbacks and the San Diego Padres. Mad Bum, the lefty, Madison Bumgarner, goes for the D-backs. And Yu Darvish is on the hill for the Padres, who are a -185 favourite. Arizona +156. Total set at 7.5. And I'll throw this across to you, Noah. Diamondbacks at the Padres.
I like your term naughty step, so I'm going to keep using it because San Diego, they're my newest naughty step team. I don't know where we're at with the Padres right now. They're 6-11 in their last 17 games or something like that. And but the Diamondbacks, they're 7-2 against them this year. The Padres are. Plus, in 3 games that Madison Bumgarner has pitched against San Diego, he's 0-2 with an ERA of 4.60. Yu Darvish, he's started against the Diamondbacks twice this year, only giving up 1 total run in 13 innings to them. So I'm kind of in the middle of this game. Malcolm, everything is pointing to me to take the Padres. But, I mean, at that price, I really don't want to at -185. And run line, to me, doesn't really seem too enticing. My gut's telling me to take Arizona. What do I do?
I've got the Padres run line written down, but with no confidence at all. It was just a bit of a gut play, really. And I can't really talk you into one thing or the other. I think I just trust Darvish at home. Darvish has been quietly going along about his business. Far better than he had been earlier in the season. So I like Darvish. Not sure about Bumgarner, but the Padres are a difficult team to handicap at the moment. So yeah, it was really a lack of alternatives that led me to go to the Padres run line here. But I can't help you out, Noah. Unfortunately, I can't get you out of that jam. Maybe that's a no bet, which is not on brand for the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. But if we can't find one, we can't find one. We'll find one here for you. The last game is the Milwaukee Brewers at the San Francisco Giants, a 10:15 Eastern first pitch, where Brandon Woodruff goes for the Brewers and Alex Wood, the lefty, goes for the San Francisco Giants. The Brewers are -115. San Francisco Giants are a slight home puppy at -103. Totally set at 7. Woodruff 7-3, 4.01 ERA. 60 2/3 pitched with 80 strikeouts. Alex Wood is 6-7 with a 4.43 ERA. He's pitched 85 1/3 with 83 strikeouts. Woodruff going along really nice, 3-1 in his last 5 with a 2.33 ERA. He has got a 5.63 road ERA, which I was quite surprised at. Wood is 5.25 in his last 5 starts. But he did give up 6 earned runs in 1 inning at Atlanta. And his last 2 starts haven't been too bad. I think if you take Wood's recent form, those last 2 starts, and couple that with Woodruff's road form, plus the fact I think I've made it pretty plain in the last week or so that I've been out on the Brewers lineup, all of that points to the Giants for me. The Giants at home, I think, can do a job and get this win against the Brewers. What do you think, Noah?
Yeah, Alex Wood's been a guy that I've been interested in streaming, just not sure when is the best time to start him, I should say, because I think he's still sitting on my roster just on the bench, and this is probably the day that he goes for me. Just looking at the Brewers, they're a huge under team, and so are the Giants. I have those trends in front of me. Where are they at? Unders hitting 5 of the last 6 for the Brewers and 4 of the last 6 for the Giants. They're 2 teams that I love taking unders on, and I think that if Wood goes all right, he's a big question mark for me. Is every other game, it seems like he kind of gets pulled before the 5th or 6th inning with 4 runs on him. But if he goes all right, I kind of like the under in this game. In Milwaukee, they haven't had the best stretch of games lately. They're 2-5 with a win against Pittsburgh, and they split that series against Minnesota. But Pittsburgh beat them in a 3-game series, 2 games, and they also lost 2 games to the Cubs. So it's not a very good team that I want to back right now. They're not rolling right.
Had a nice little first 5 over, just cashing the Padres at Rockies game. That'll make up for Pittsburgh letting me down earlier on.
Nice.
We faded Blake Snell, and it was Kyle Freeland, wasn't it? Yeah.
How many walks did he have today?
I'm not sure. It was
I'm going to look.
7-5 Rockies, but the score was 5-5 through 5 innings. So perfectly happy with that. Lock and dogs to come in 2 secs. Once I've told you about IP Vanish VPN, which will help keep your private data away from hackers, advertisers, and other prying eyes. IP Vanish VPN we use here at SGPN to encrypt 100% of our data. Things like private details, passwords, communications, browsing history, etc. It'll hide your physical location. You can use it on unlimited devices, even your Fire Stick when you're streaming. IP Vanish are offering 70% off the yearly plan for our listeners with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Really good offer. It's dead easy to use. One tap of a button and you're covered. Take your privacy back today. The brand rated 4.6 out of 5 on Trustpilot. Go to ipvanish.com/SGP and use the promo code SGP to claim your 70% savings. That's ipvanish.com/SGP. How many walks did Blake Snell issue?
6.
Yay! 6. There was a lot of Discord chat about Blake Snell and his walks. Just even baseball Sean was getting involved before. He must be at a loose end with things to do, because we don't see very many sightings of baseball, Sean, but he was in the Discord channel earlier on.
He was.
The Slack chat has all moved across to Discord, so get across there where there's lots of fun chat and sharp chat and just generally silly chat as well. It's a great place to be. Okay, lock and dog, Noah. Come on, let's get some winners going. Hit me.
We're going with the Twins money line against the White Sox here. I like Kopech, but I'm not going to back the White Sox in Target Field where they've lost 7 of the last 8. Really like you've talked me into Sneltzer, I mean, and I hate doing it, but I'm just fading my AL championship team. Minus 135 on the Twins. And for my dog, I'm going with Philadelphia plus 130. Get this thing now before the price rises because it's not going to be here in the morning with the Marlins. They have a ton of injuries right now. Sandy Alcantara is on the mound, but I feel like this is a nice 3-2, 3-1 ball game that the Phillies can win.
Okay, my lock will be the over 9 runs in the Cincinnati at St. Louis game. Hunter Green against Andre Palante. Both of these pitchers are giving up runs for fun at the moment. St. Louis for fun, yeah, they're actively enjoying it. St. Louis have scored quite a lot as well. And like I say, Cincinnati have had a funky week, so they can contribute a little bit to this as well. It's going to be double dog time here. I have got Philadelphia at plus 130 as well. Not many other places I could have gone to for my dog, but I love this. Absolutely love it. I don't think this 130 will be around tomorrow. This time, in 24 hours from now, this will be near a pick'em, I reckon. So, yeah, take the plus 130 on the Phillies. And that is it. We've done it. We've handicapped 15 games. We made as many picks as we could. It was a bit of a minefield tonight, but we got there in the end. So, anything else, Noah, before we let the people crack on?
Just that, I'm going to a kind of an independent minor league baseball stadium this weekend with a couple of buddies to celebrate my birthday. If a video gets up on the Twitter, I threw out the first pitch. If a video does not get up on the Twitter, I didn't throw out the first pitch. I'm just gonna say that because the team that I grew up playing for, we have really nice connection with this really nice independent minor league stadium, 10 minutes from the house. So we got a nice suite for a good group of friends. And you know what? When you turn 21, sometimes they let you do it. So I'm just going to say I've never done it before, but I am a pitcher. So hopefully it's a strike and hopefully we get posted. If not, I didn't throw it out.
Are you gonna stand at the front of the mound, Noah, or are you gonna go up on the bump like the big boys?
I'm towing the rubber. I actually have a couple of buddies out there that play for these teams too. So if I don't go to the rubber, they're gonna blast me. I'd
have to stand at the front of the mound. I tried. It's too far. We need to knock it 10 feet closer. I can just about get one over the plate. Right. Okay. Thanks everyone for listening.
I have to ask you. Before we end up. So what's going on? Do you guys not water the grass over there in the golf?
Oh, in the Gulf?
Yeah. Do you not water?
Well, do you know? I'll be honest. Water grass? It's never sunny in the northeast. It's never. St Andrews is about 100 miles north of me, so it's relatively close, and it's just cold and wet the whole time. But the sun's just baked the place for the last probably 2 weeks. It's good fun golf though. It's a little bit different, isn't it? What you don't appreciate, you Americans, is that there's a little bit of nuance here. There's a little bit of something different. It's not just a big green parkland where you can bomb and gouge your way around. You've got to think about it, man.
Yeah, dude. So Mike Tirico on NBC, he's calling it golden brown, and I'm like, oh, that just kind of looks burned out.
Yeah, I don't know. Scotty Scheffler said some of the fairways are faster than the greens, which is quite romantic. You don't get that very often.
How far did the Tiger hit a drive today? It was like 347. He's not doing that in America right now.
Yeah, there was a couple of 400 plus drives. It just never ever stops. So yeah, if the weather doesn't change by Sunday, mate, it's going to be absolute chaos out there trying to plot your way around there. So.
Shout out to LG in the YouTube comments. I haven't been able to get to him on the shorts. He's been commenting on a couple of them, trying to get alt lines on these guys that I give out for the strikeout props. And I don't get notifications on the comments because I'm not the head of the account. So I apologize for not commenting those on the videos, but I try to do very well on Twitter and other stuff. It's just I don't check the YouTube comments all the time. But yes, I'm hoping to hit the parlay as well.
Excellent. Yeah, nice of LG to be in the comments there. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope everyone enjoyed the show. We'll be back over the weekend with more MLB plays. Thanks everyone for listening. Until then, we will see you down the road. Cheers.